Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for joining us again this week. Do more with MotoCommerce. So usually we go through different use cases each week. We had Warren hosting a session last week on frequently asked questions. This week, actually, we have an exciting topic for you. There's a brand new feature or function that the product team has just released, and we wanted to give you a quick update on that. So we call it or tokenized links, which doesn't really mean much to everybody. So we have one of our data success managers, Stephen, who's a regular host here, who's going to walk you through this actual feature and function, how it works and how it benefits you as well. So basically, just to give you an overview, you're going to be able to guide your customers into specific steps in the transaction module going forward with our new easily accessible link sharing, which ultimately is going to save you time and the customer's time as well. But Stephen's going to go into the detail on that and how that's going to benefit you and also your customers going forward. So Stephen, I'll let you take it away and walk us through all these steps and highlight all the key benefits to us.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Claire, for having me. Stephen Maratra here, Dealer Success Manager. One thing I'm going to talk about today, and this is something I've been pretty excited for, is tokenized link shortcuts, which is kind of a technical term. What I would be referring it to as, and maybe your success reps as well, is just simply follow-up shortcuts. And they're very direct as well. So to Claire's point on her screen, I'll walk you through how to copy and paste sharing the links. This will save time, quite a bit of time actually, for yourself and for your customers. It saves time explaining to your customers what they can and can't do. It makes your touch points a little bit more personalized and more relevant when you follow up with them. And you'll get notified whenever they access these, whether they actually do anything. Once they access them, you're going to get notified. So I'm going to share my screen here, and a lot of this presentation I'm going to be going through is the mobile version of it, because I think that this feature to share shortcuts to certain aspects of the customer's sales funnel and their sales journey, I think is really useful to use on mobile. Desktop, of course, but we don't want you to be landlocked or desk locked to your desktop to have to do these things. So Claire, can you please just let me know once my screen is visible for you?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, we're good to go. So this is, desktop view, of course, and we're going to focus on Ethan Mann here. There's a little blue dot beside him, which means that, he's done something and he's actually waiting for the dealer or for me to do something back. Now, this view is fully responsive. This is an iPhone view of your customer list. And Ethan Mann, here he is right there. Now, if I were to log into Ethan Mann on the desktop or laptop, you'll be greeted with a screen you're really familiar with. So the changes on the screen take place on the right side here. Beside all of the parts of the sales process, you're actually going to have a copy link button. There's none beside appointment because the customer's already completed that step. Because the customer's already completed requesting an appointment, there is really no need for you to even have to be able to copy the link to the customer. Another small change that we've made is just the wording. So below Ethan's name, copy saved vehicles link used to say copy MotoCommerce link. We've changed the name just so it's a little bit more understandable for new sales staff to say, okay, this is just a saved vehicles link that we can send to the customer and they can access all of their vehicles. Also here, resend invitation. That used to say send order link. Resend invitation, what it'll do is on one button click, we generate an email immediately to the customer with your dealership logo, a picture of the vehicle, and the button for them to click and access their shopping cart, which you'll be notified to, of course. So this is the desktop view. In the mobile view for Ethan, you've got a few options here. So by the way, on the desktop, you notice that we do have Ethan's phone number. So an email is always required, but phone number is really, really strong to have for multiple reasons. Obviously, we always recommend texting as much as possible. But when you have a phone number, you're greeted with these options on mobile. And a lot of people don't know about this. So as we open Ethan's drop down here, you can call him directly from your mobile phone. Once you tap this button, your dialer, whether you're an Apple or Android user, your dialer will launch with Ethan's number pre-populated for you to press call. If you were to press send SMS, your SMS texting application would open with Ethan's phone number pre-populated, ready for you to send a text message. Now, if we want to send Ethan, for example, the link directly to his credit app. So maybe Ethan's already requested an appointment. Maybe he's already came to the dealership and you've already test driven the vehicle. You've already gone into the pricing worksheet and made sure that you've built the deal, to whatever liking it is for Ethan. And he didn't really have too much time today to go through the credit app. And he doesn't have a trade-in, so that's not too much of a concern to Ethan, but he didn't have time to go through the credit app himself. And also he does want to include his spouse on the credit app as a co-applicant. Moto does support co-applicants through the credit apps. So you had two options previously. You'd kind of send Ethan home and send him a link to his shopping cart. But now you can send him a link directly to the credit app. So you're not going to hope that Ethan can navigate his way through the shopping cart to the credit app. So here's a couple things you'd do. You would copy the link. That's the extent of copying the link. You'd paste it into an email saying, hey, Ethan, thanks for coming in. It was great test driving with you. I hope you liked the vehicle. This is a link to your shopping cart to access your credit application. Please feel free to navigate through here and fill it out. I'll be notified once you've done so. Or on your cell phone, go into Ethan's account to view his vehicles. This is the vehicle that we're working on, the 2020 Audi A3. Let's copy just his credit application link. That's all we're gonna go back to Ethan's main page here and we're gonna text it to him. So you just open it up here. And once you click, I can't open this on my browser, but once you hit send SMS, your texting app would open. Paste it there and say, hey, Ethan, click the link above. You'll go right into your credit application and you'll be able to submit it. Now, if Ethan would open it on, let's do, if this does desktop first, I'll roll with that. Okay, so if Ethan opens it on desktop, this is what it would look like on his desktop. So familiar screen you're used to, but look at this. So this goes directly into his credit application. Keep in mind the rest of Moto is still accessible. They can still kind of peruse their shopping cart and work different parts of the deal. Maybe they decide they do want to trade in after all. They can still access that. But we've directed them directly to their credit application now. So there's no confusion, regardless of how techy they are or not. You're directing them specifically to this page. And I think, just a matter of entering your information in these boxes and pressing next is pretty clear for someone to understand.
I think that's a pretty, from a use case perspective, it's something that they come across on a regular basis as well. We have dealer partners who actually utilize this function to get ahead of the customer's visit to the dealership, to ensure that they qualify for the vehicle that they're interested in. And ultimately, it's the admin work that you're saving at the dealership, right? Like it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, how long it takes.
Actually, to that point, so me, if I was on the sales floor now, and if I was still on the sales floor, and I received a customer from out of town, maybe it's a phone up on a particular used car that I have in stock. They're an hour and a half away. They don't really have this, Audi A3 in their region, and I've got the best deal, best customer service. But they've received bad news in the past about credit applications. They're not overly keen on driving an hour and a half here to get the same bad news from your dealership. They're wondering if you're flexible with maybe pre-approvals or things of that nature. I'd say perfect. Check your email or check your phone text messages in about 2 or 3 minutes. You're going to get a link to complete a credit application and we can walk you through the process. So that's a good little use case as well. Get ahead of them to say, all right, you know what? I think we're going to have some good news for you. We've looked over your credit app. Let's make an appointment to come down.
Yeah, and it's still part of their online or digital deal sheet, right, that we're working with the customer with. So all the vehicle information is still there and they can easily go back and forth, decide on what they want to do as well. But it's just that one piece that you direct them to, it just makes it all the convenience. And it's easy as well. Like you said, it's very intuitive and easy.
Yeah, I mean, to touch on the ease factor of it. So this would be Ethan's view on his laptop. But if he were to open this link, maybe at work on his cell phone, keep in mind, not only is it mobile friendly for you as the sales staff or BDC or admin, but Ethan's opening this on his phone, and this is all conformed right to his phone as well. So I mean, it's pretty slick whether you're on desktop or mobile for salesperson or for the dealer. The more you do this as a dealership, the more you engage your customers and let them know what they can do and be that salesperson that you are and direct them to certain aspects and guide them, like a salesperson would, the more activity you're going to get, the more potential trade-ins you'll receive to review, credit applications. Deposits are key as well. I actually do want to stop sharing my screen in a minute, but one thing I want to touch on too is I think Claris's screen is going to start now. So the five sections, as you'll see on Claris's screen as well, the five sections would have been build in, build and price, trading, credit app, deposit, and appointment. Um, those are five new reasons to touch base with your client. So it's not just sending them the same thing over and over again. Different reasons to reach out to your clients with
Exactly.
value are important. So this time, hey, you can build your vehicle here. The next follow up, if they haven't gotten back to you, to say, hey, by the way, you mentioned the credit app previously. Here's a link to submit your credit app. Just excuses to reach back out to the client with something new each time.
Exactly, versus are you still interested, right? Why is this screenshotting important? I know we had talked about this in the past, but what we're trying to highlight here, Stephen.
Yeah, so perfect. Thanks for bringing this up. So we've talked about this, I'm not sure if it was a week or two ago. It was a little bit of a smaller screenshot. So I wanted to highlight four key aspects here. So you'll see them kind of highlighted 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is, real stats from an actual dealer in Canada. So section 1 is links shared, 2 is dealer created opportunities, 3 is cars sold, and 4 is deposits received by the dealer. Now, this particular aspect is a really strong way to use Moto. And this dealer got creative, and we hope you get creative as well and use Moto to your advantage. They've only received, if you can see the third column, inbound leads assigned, they only received 3 organic leads this month from their website. So it was a fairly quiet month in the grand scheme of things, but they didn't let that deter them. They said, okay, if we're only receiving 3 leads online and it's kind of slow and winter's kicking in now, how do we boost some more sales and deposits? So this store sold 11 vehicles on only 3 organic leads, and they received 12 deposits. 12 deposits, 11 vehicles sold, only 3 organic leads. How'd they do that? They took their phone ups, walk-ins, I don't know, referrals, things like that, and they actually created accounts for them, as you can see in number 2. So whoever that first sales rep was, he made 10 of his own. Sales reps number 7 made 3 of his own. It's simply, name and email and phone number, and then choosing the vehicle. That's the extent of creating the account. Column number 1 is link shared. Each time you copy the link to their saved vehicles and send it to them, each time you press, resend invitation, that constitutes as one link shared. So sales rep number 1 reached out 16 times to their customer with different aspects of the sales process. So this person's also the one that had the most sales and the most deposits received. So the correlation there is pretty jarring and pretty obvious. But using the tool to create those dealer created opportunities, not just sit and wait for ups to come to you, is really powerful, as you can see from this example here. And I think it's a really good use case for lots of people to take advantage of.
Yeah, and I think we had discussed this in the past as well, that we can see direct correlation with the steps being completed by the customer and then likeliness to convert and how those conversion ratios are increasing. We can see from even just getting them to submit their trading information, you add in another 10 or 20% to your conversion ratios. When it comes to credit app, 50 to 60, I think 68% of some of those are converting to sales as well. So there's a reason to do that. And now we just made it easier with these shortcuts. So what we had covered today, and just to kind of summarize, so now you've got these easily accessible link sharing shortcuts that you can send to your customers to move them or guide them through various steps in the process. It saves you time, it saves them time as well. So just makes that whole process a bit more convenient for them, for your customers, and also for yourself as well, and ultimately allows you to convert more. I've just seen a question come in, so I just want to pop that open. Yeah. So with a new client, I've just entered to Moto. Can I click and send saved vehicles links and then send the click to the trade at the same time?
Yeah, I think that's a good. Do you mind if I answer this, Claire?
Yes, please.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a good use case. So always covering your bases is good to have, right? So if you click the send save vehicles link, that would send them the link just to their overall cart, which they can kind of go through, and maybe they might even add vehicles. Maybe they want to compare more than one car, which is a really good use case. But then maybe I would follow up with another maybe private message or a text to say, and by the way, if you just are interested in submitting your trade, here's how to submit your trade. So by all means, you can definitely do that. And actually, that's a really good question. I think think more people should probably do that as well.
Yeah. And then we had another question on there. Do we have
Oh,
a mobile app? We don't have an app, but everything, as Stephen had showcased it to you, is mobile friendly. So you have the same functions, same features that you see on the desktop in the mobile web version as well.
that's right. So it is mobile friendly. What I suggest is I just went through this today as well with one of my coworkers. If you're on an iPhone and you go to your MotoCommerce URL, you can make sure you can double check with your success rep to make sure you have the right URL. Bookmark it on your iPhone. If you're using
Yeah.
Safari, you should be able to click your little menu share button at the bottom. And then as you scroll down, one of the options is save to home screen. So you can bookmark it and then just save it to your home screen, and then you can open it like an app. I'm sure it's the same way on Android. Just open Chrome, bookmark it, and then add bookmark to home screen.
Yeah, so it just makes it easier to access. That's a good tip, Stephen. Thank you so much. So I hope you found it useful. We will have communications going out on this as well, but please check out that feature. Let us know what you think. And if you're around next week, we want to cover hidden upsells during these seasonal lows. So we know we're going into December, January. The traffic does die down a little bit. So I think it's really timely to touch on how you can utilize the MotoCommerce platform for those personalized and hidden upsell opportunities that will help you get through this season. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll be here same time, same place next week. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, everybody.